The good thing about science is that it's true whether or not you believe in it. For me, I am driven by two main philosophies: know more today about the world than I knew yesterday and lessen the suffering of others. You'd be surprised how far that gets you. Recognize that the very molecules that make up your body, the atoms that construct the molecules, are traceable to the crucibles that were once the centers of high-mass stars that exploded their chemically rich guts into the galaxy, enriching pristine gas clouds with the chemistry of life. So that we are all connected to each other biologically, to the Earth chemically and to the rest of the universe atomically. That's kinda cool. That makes me smile and I actually feel quite large at the end of that. It's not that we are better than the universe, we are part of the universe. We are in the universe and the universe is in us. We are all connected, to each other, biologically. To the Earth, chemically. To the rest of the universe atomically. The problem, often not discovered until late in life, is that when you look for things in life like love, meaning, motivation, it implies they are sitting behind a tree or under a rock. The most successful people in life recognize that in life they create their own love, they manufacture their own meaning, they generate their own motivation. For me, I am driven by two main philosophies: know more today about the world than I knew yesterday. And lessen the suffering of others. You'd be surprised how far that gets you. We spend the first year of a child's life teaching it to walk and talk and the rest of its life to shut up and sit down. There's something wrong there. Curious that we spend more time congratulating people who have succeeded than encouraging people who have not. The universe is under no obligation to make sense to you. The more I learn about the universe, the less convinced I am that there's any sort of benevolent force that has anything to do with it, at all. There is no shame in not knowing. The problem arises when irrational thought and attendant behavior fill the vacuum left by ignorance. There's as many atoms in a single molecule of your DNA as there are stars in the typical galaxy. We are, each of us, a little universe. People cited violation of the First Amendment when a New Jersey schoolteacher asserted that evolution and the Big Bang are not scientific and that Noah's Ark carried dinosaurs. This case is not about the need to separate church and state, it's about the need to separate ignorant, scientifically illiterate people from the ranks of teachers. I would request that my body in death be buried, not cremated, so that the energy content contained within it gets returned to the earth, so that flora and fauna can dine upon it, just as I have dined upon flora and fauna during my lifetime. I look up at the night sky, and I know that, yes, we are part of this universe, we are in this universe, but perhaps more important than both of those facts is that the universe is in us. When I reflect on that fact, I look up. Many people feel small, because they're small and the universe is big, but I feel big, because my atoms came from those stars. My view is that if your philosophy is not unsettled daily, then you are blind to all the universe has to offer. Knowing how to think empowers you far beyond those who know only what to think. The atoms of our bodies are traceable to stars that manufactured them in their cores and exploded these enriched ingredients across our galaxy, billions of years ago. For this reason, we are biologically connected to every other living thing in the world. We are chemically connected to all molecules on Earth. And we are atomically connected to all atoms in the universe. We are not figuratively, but literally stardust. The universe is under no obligation to make sense to you. NDT. Not only do we live among the stars live within us. We are stardust brought to life, then empowered by the universe to figure itself out, and we have only just begun. I want to put on the table, not why 85% of the members of the National Academy of Sciences reject God, I want to know why 15% of the National Academy don't. One of the biggest problems with the world today is that we have large groups of people who will accept whatever they hear on the grapevine, just because it suits their worldview, not because it is actually true or because they have evidence to support it. The really striking thing is that it would not take much effort to establish validity in most of these cases. But people prefer reassurance to research. I am convinced that the act of thinking logically cannot possibly be natural to the human mind. If it were, then mathematics would be everybody's easiest course at school and our species would not have taken several millennia to figure out the scientific method. Kids are never the problem. They are born scientists. The problem is always the adults. They beat the curiosity out of kids. They outnumber kids. They vote. They wield resources. That's why my public focus is primarily adults. I know that the molecules in my body are traceable to phenomena in the cosmos. That makes me want to grab people on the street and say, "Have you heard this?" Whether or not you can never become great at something, you can always become better at it. Don't ever forget that. And don't say I'll never be good. You can become better. And one day you'll wake up and you'll find out how good you actually became.